What's up? It's Movie Buff. I'm going to talk about Ralph Breaks the Internet. This is the sequel to Wreck-It Ralph, obviously. It's got John C. Reilly. It's got Silverman. There's some new cast. Taraji P. Henderson and Gal Gadot also star in this movie. Everyone's pretty good in this movie. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I really liked it, but it didn't live up to the hype for me for the like just as good as Ralph, which I mean not many sequels do. This is definitely like going back into that world though. So anything that you liked from that previous movie, as far as like all the little, extras from, seeing all the villains in their little support group, and, how things go outside of, when they turn their games off and everything, it really gets more in depth with that. And, Ralph is pretty much on top of the world. Penelope, however, the little girl that's in the racing game, she's just kind of like, she knows all the routes of her game. It's the same thing all the time. She's just kind of like wondering if there's more out there in the world than just what they do. They do the same thing every single day, and Ralph loves it. He's like, this is my best friend. I go do my job, and then I go have a root beer, and then we go, do this. And, he's just very complacent. And kind of like what happens is basically they have a problem with Penelope's game. The steering wheel gets busted, and they're going to shut down the game because they can't find a steering wheel. Like, the game is so old that it's outdated. They can't find one of these steering wheels. Well, the owner in the real world, the guy is, getting Wi-Fi for his shop or whatever. He's kind of upgrading. So he plugs in Wi-Fi, which goes into their world, and, they realize, hey, they heard one of these kids say, oh, it's on eBay for, X amount of dollars. He was like, oh, that's way too high. Well, Ralph thinks, if I can get into this eBay, I can get this wheel ordered, have it sent to, the guy at the game shop, and then all's good. Penelope's game is saved. She doesn't get taken out, the day is saved, basically. He wants to be the hero all the time, And so they basically travel. The whole movie is really about them going to the internet, inside the internet, which there's tons and tons of just like play on things that we know about. eBay's one of them, Google is one of them. There's references to Star Wars. There's, Stan Lee makes a cameo, which was awesome. You've got Marvel, everything that Disney kind of has now makes a little cameo, which I will tell you right now, the Disney princesses part was gold. It was the best part of the whole movie. And it kind of comes back around toward the end of the movie and just kills it. I love that part. A lot of laugh out loud moments in this movie, but they're trying to, get this wheel, and they're going on eBay and they're bidding, and they realize they need real money for this. So they're like, how do we get real money? Well, pop-up ads on the internet, this pop-up, single wives want to meet you. And he's like, well, you know what? So they find one that people pay real money for in-game items. And there's like this car in this racing game that they can get all this money, and they would be able to get this wheel. So they go to this game, and it's like hardcore racing, like basically like sharks coming out of sewers and flaming meteorites and crazy chases. And it's just like the most hardcore, brutal game ever. It's called like Thrasher Race or something like that. And, Penelope just instantly falls in love with the chaos because it's so new and it's so different, and it's racing. And of course, Gal Gadot plays kind of like the boss, one of the bosses in the game. And she's got this cool car that they're trying to steal, and obviously they don't get away with it. And that's how Gal Gadot kind of like involves herself, her character in, Penelope's life, and they become close. And Ralph kind of gets a little jealous, and he takes some extreme measures. I won't go into what he does, so I don't ruin the movie for you guys, but it's really about him learning to not need Penelope to be happy, you know what I mean, and not have to suffocate her to be happy with life, you know, and learning to kind of like, you know, she's kind of like growing up in a way, and he's kind of like having to realize like, oh, this is not, you know, it's not going to be the same all the time, and being okay with that. So there's a really good lesson in the movie. Like I said, it wasn't as good as the first one, but it was very good. I would give it probably, I would say probably 8 out of 10. I really liked it. The animation was on point, as it always is with Disney. And there's a lot of cool little Easter eggs. So if you liked Wreck-It Ralph, you'll like this movie. Until next time, see you at the movies.